Okay, so today we're going to talk about marketing and promotion for pharmacists. My name is Joey Mattingly. I am a PharmD MBA assistant professor at the University of Maryland College of Pharmacy in Baltimore, Maryland. I'd like to go over a couple of the objectives today for this short video. First, we're going to describe the range of marketing strategies applied to pharmacy products and services very briefly. Then we'll explain the importance of understanding patient needs and motivations when designing marketing approaches. Beyond this video, I'm going to go into the 4 P's of marketing and explaining the value of branding in a pharmacy. But for today's lecture, we're just going to do 1 and 2, okay? So marketing is the activity, set of institutions, and processes for creating, communicating, delivering, and exchanging offerings that have value for customers, clients, partners, and society at large. This was essentially the definition of marketing that was approved by the American Marketing Association Board of Directors in July of 2013. So again, we're creating, communicating, delivering different messages that essentially demonstrate value for customers, potentially clients and partners, or again, just the society itself. Marketing can be either informational or competitive. So informational marketing is meant to let customers know about a product or service that is available to explain why they might want it. If you're already interested in a product, informational marketing may catch your eye. So think of that like the iPhone 6. Before the iPhone 6 came out, we'd see small marketing campaigns come out to kind of show the iPhone, show how beautifully it was designed by the designers at Apple, and really just kind of grab the consumer, and you think, man, I want to learn more about this iPhone. Competitive marketing, on the other hand, if you can remember a few years back, the famous I am a PC, I am a Mac commercial. Comedian John Hodgman was employed in the role, Hodgman on the left, and I can't remember this actor's name on the right, but basically you had Hodgman's character, the PC character, was often kind of funny and sounded kind of dorky and sounded kind of lame, whereas kind of the new, younger, hip guy was the Mac guy. So competitive marketing really refers to the branding and how you develop a product image within the marketplace against its competitors. So anyway, kind of like saying, hey, we're cool and they're not. Communicating value to current and potential customers. When you think about communicating the value, I like to use a real simple example. So, what if I hire you to sell something like water, something that's readily available and inexpensive to most Americans? But I want you to sell it for our company. We've got this product, we're going to bottle it, and we're going to sell it for $2 a bottle. How do you convince a consumer that they're getting a good deal when they have this readily available? Again, our water isn't filtered anymore. We're just getting it out of the tap, and we're going to bottle it and sell it. So now, what's your challenge? How do you identify a way to convince consumers that the product on the left is better than the tap water on the right? Enough so that they're going to actually pay for the product. So we start thinking about our marketing strategy, and again, our marketing strategy is essentially the overall plan for marketing. It helps identify target market segments, like if we're going to sell to soccer moms, or we're going to sell to men aged 16 to 22, or whatever our target market is, as well as specifies the mix of products and services. So like for Apple, they've got different product mixes. They've got the iPhone, they've got the iPad, the iPad Mini, then they have their whole computer line and their laptop line. Beyond when developing your marketing strategy, you have to think about needs, wants, and demands. The best way to break this down, so again, a need is essentially a basic requirement for health, safety, and well-being. So things that we need: air, water, food, nourishment. These are things that we need for daily living. Whereas a want is not necessarily required for survival, but it makes you happier if you have it. Now, what I love about a demand is that it's the same thing as a want, except you're actually able and willing to pay for. So that's the key. We all may want an iPhone and we all may want an iPad, but are you actually able and willing to spend the money money on it? So identifying, being able to create wants for people. That can be transformed into things that are actually demanded is a big key. What are they actually going to be able to pull out their wallet and spend money on? So let's use our previous example. We need water to survive. So water itself, could be defined as a need. But bottled water may be more of a want, because it's maybe we want it for maybe we like the taste. Maybe it's more convenient. We can carry it around. We can take it to the gym with us if they don't have water fountains throughout the gym. Anyway, if you want to have your bottle of water when you go running, as opposed to you can't really carry your sink with you. So maybe bottles of water are important, but it's still a want. Now, when we think of it as a demand, how does our demand change for bottled water as the price change? So for some of us, if the price is really low, so here's our price on our y-axis. If price is really low, the quantity demanded to the right is greater, so a lot more people are going to have a demand for the price for a product. And this kind of goes back to old school economics. This is a simple demand graph. Whereas as we raise the price, we see that the demand actually decreases. The number of people demanding the product decreases. So identifying our demand for a bottle of water, so if we price it, what's going to happen to demand if we price it at 50 cents a bottle versus $1 a bottle versus $2 a bottle versus $50 a bottle? How do we identify that? Now, let's move away from the abstract and talk more about pharmacist services. So when we get into needs, wants, and demands, the easiest way to think about this, I think, is to dive into a couple examples. So let's take a case where a patient brings a prescription to the pharmacy to be filled. Now, in this case, would pharmacist services be a need or a want? So again, we've got a patient who's got a prescription from their physician. They would like to get the prescription filled, or they need to get the prescription filled based on their doctor's recommendation, and now, do they need a pharmacist? Do they need a pharmacist to fill it, or do they want a pharmacist to fill it? Now, based on state laws and regulations in the United States, a pharmacist is typically required to be available in order to verify the prescription and engage in the practice of pharmacy. So I would argue that in this case, a pharmacist service in terms of filling a prescription is a need. In the United States, without a pharmacist or a physician, you're not, again, there are physicians that dispense as well, but if you're not a pharmacist or a physician or a practitioner or a pharmacist, you're not going to be able to fill a prescription. But what about if a patient has a question about an over-the-counter medication? Maybe they just want to get some ibuprofen, and they have questions. They want to know maybe the dose that they should take, how often they should take it, should they take it with or without food. Maybe they just have some specific questions that they'd like to get answered. And they're at the pharmacy, so there's a pharmacist there. In this case, would a patient consultation would getting a pharmacist service in terms of counseling be a need or a want? I think this case really exemplifies that a patient could actually just use the internet, maybe ask the nurse, ask their doctor, or even ask their neighbors questions about drugs. But maybe they want a pharmacist because a pharmacist is the medication expert. So in this case, again, the pharmacist isn't needed necessarily to provide patient education. While a lot of pharmacists may like to think that they're needed in this case, actually most patients may want to have an expert give them advice. And again, if that's a want, then what makes it a demand? What makes it, at what price point? Again, in most cases, the pharmacist offers a service for free, so it should be a high demand, so to speak. So again, when you're thinking about marketing a new service, doing something for your pharmacy, break it down into what the patient needs, what the patient may want, and then what could actually be demanded. And so when you develop your pricing strategy, your product mix, this is a good way to think about it for marketing services. Well, that's all I've got for this first video, and look to more videos on different marketing and other business subjects. You can find these on the website at www.mattinglymanagement.com, at my blog, Leading Over the Counter. We appreciate your time today and hope that this was helpful.